All right, so we should be back. You guys, how's it doing? Let people know. Hey, we're in here. Back live. We are back. Okay. All right, so to continue on with SMS marketing, right? Setting up an SMS marketing campaign using the traffic link app, which is built on High Level, and we're going to go into an account, and we're going to show you how to set up an SMS service. So let me just pull up an account here just a second, and I'll share my screen, let people join. All right. So wait for some folks to get in here while the application is loading up. Let's talk about why have an SMS campaign. And I will say that not all CRMs or not all systems have the ability to send out SMS, although it's starting to become more of a baseline feature that applications are aligning themselves with, and they're actually offering it to people. SMS primarily because we all have cell phones in our hands. At different times throughout the day, we have our cell phones in our hands more than others. So, for instance, if you're going to send out an SMS campaign and you're thinking about doing it at a particular time of day, just consider the people that you're trying to contact. Let's think about it. If you're talking to someone that is if your audience is primarily single mothers, and single mothers generally are going to be tied up with kids between the hours of like 7 and 10 o'clock in the morning, or 7 and 9 o'clock in the morning while they're trying to get kids off to school. They probably won't have opportunity to act or interact on any text messages during those times, especially if it's not from an immediate family member or something pertaining to family or something that's really pressing in that regard. Now, a good time to contact them may be around, say, around lunchtime or even around 6 or 7 o'clock. I'm going to try to limit your window of opportunity to contact anybody via SMS. I would say between like 8 and 4 p.m. or 8 and 5 p.m. And that's just generally something that I've always noticed with other people that are engaging in SMS campaigns. I never get any emails that are, or any text messages that are sent to me outside of those windows. Generally, I start seeing them rolling about, sometimes you'll see them rolling at 6 a.m. Sometimes it's 7, but around between like 8 and 4, that's generally when people are sending out SMS campaigns. I don't know what the quick fast rule is about that. I'll have to do some research and find out what that's about. But nonetheless, that's generally what I've been able to observe. We'll say this about SMS is that your system should be able to text people based on where they're located. So if you have information about where they're located, or you can assume that they're located in a certain area because of their area code, then it would probably be best to send them a text message relative to their local area code. So, for instance, if I live on the West Coast and I'm trying to reach somebody at 4 p.m., so I send somebody on the East Coast a message at my 4 p.m. at 7 p.m., and that may be outside the window of opportunity for the SMS messaging. Let's jump back into the application. All right, cool. All right, so with that being said, we want to go through and find some. Okay, here we go. Go through and show you how to find some contacts and then add those contacts to an SMS campaign. Let's see. 1, 2. All right, so I'm waiting for the system still to load. It's taking forever. So for my computer, it's really slow this morning. It's giving me all kind of fits. But anyway, that's why. I guess we can talk a little bit more about why SMS. So if you're looking at SMS versus email, then I will say that SMS is going to have a higher click-through rate. It's going to have a higher conversion, just generally because people are more interactive with their phones, and the fact that your phone will actually give a notification, a banner notification, saying that you have a text message from this particular person, and just something about our nature. We have to click on the thing in order to get it to go away. And then when people do that, they'll look and see if there's something that they want. They're going to click on the link. And that's another thing. Like, one of the things I like to implement or try to prove out that actual SMS is actually working. How do you measure that? I feel like that's a bigger topic, but a good way to do that is just put a link in your SMS that send somebody somewhere else. And when you do that, you can actually give yourself an opportunity to track the click-through or conversion rate. So let me see something. I'm trying to find a sub account here that I can actually dive into that has some contacts and really has as a phone number. So just 1 second, and I'll share my screen. You guys can see what I see. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a number here. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll show you what this is. Let me talk about one of the things you have to do before you start SMS campaigns is you have to go through this process called the A2P process. Well, I talked about that before. I'm not going to go through it in full, but I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'll also show you what it looks like to purchase an 800 number or a toll-free number. So let me go back here and share my screen. All right, now you have audio. What's the red notifications on my apps? I don't know what that means. So anyway, we're going to bring in first name. We're going to bring in last name, company name, and we're going to bring in phone number. I'm assuming somewhere. Birthday, phone, and then phone. All right. So then I'm going to select this button here that says don't import data in unmatched columns. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to go next. And then after that, we're going to select, we're going to give this name, give this import a name. So we'll call this new contacts and 9524. So I can also, from here, I can do things like add a tag. I can add them to a workflow if I want to. And those are different functions. So sometimes what I'll do is, like, for instance, if I have a large data set of people that are in a particular contact or in a particular account, I want to add them all to a particular workflow or whatever the case is. Sometimes I'll export people and then import them back into a workflow. That's just something I do. It's probably a lazy way to go about it, but it's something that works. But anyway, you can add tags and workflows. So I'm going to go ahead and select this right here. So I confirm all contacts in this import have consented to hear from us. I've previously contacted them within the past year, and this list is not from a third party. But this is a sample list that I got literally from Microsoft. So they're not gonna ring anywhere or have any real action, so any subsequent action. But this, for demonstration purposes, this is what I can show you guys. So we're going to give it a moment to process, and then we should be able to see the list of contacts. So one thing I could tell you about SMS marketing, one of the things is that there's a 160 character count that they call them different pages or sections within your SMS. So every 160 characters begins a new section. If you have 160, if you have a message that needs to go out that's longer than 160 characters, either I would suggest maybe crafting an email, right? Or I don't know. Some people will have to send you. Sometimes you just have to send it. But generally, if you have more than 160 characters in your communication, then you might want to consider choosing another form of communication. The one thing that makes SMS such a great way to reach folks is because you just send out short, quick bursts of information that have an action step tied to them. So that's pretty much what you need to do there. So let's see. Let me go ahead and hit refresh, and let's see if I can get some. It's going to give me the embarrassing red banner, which I didn't want to have show up, but it's going to show up. To let that run, process a little bit, and my internet might be a little slow. See if there's any questions. A Christmas miracle. It'd be your own people that have something crazy to say, I swear. All right, let me get rid of this. All right, the contacts have not uploaded yet. Let's see where they're at. Let's see, it's completed. All right, let's see, view details. All right. So let's go back to account. Let's click out of here, and then let's click back to contacts. Filters, hide filters. Nope. I guess there's an import. So let's do it again. Let's try to run that import again. So let's go upload the file. And there should be sample. Another thing about SMS, right, or just part of the whole communication portion of the your marketing automation system, basically should give you an idea of who's engaging with you and who's not. And one of the things that I like to often use is is what I call engagement scores. So the engagement scores allow me the ability to see who's interfacing with me and who's not. So I have engagement scores based on interactions with social media. I have engagement scores that are based on interactions with SMS, and I have engagement scores that are based on interactions with email. And then if appointments, if people showed up for an appointment, is a certain engagement score. If they didn't show up for certain appointments, is another engagement score. So there should be plenty of data in this data set, and there shouldn't be any reason why it's not importing, but we're going to try to work through that. Give it a new name. Something goofy. Import context again. And let's hit submit. All right, so still nothing yet. I probably need to look and see what's up with that CSV. Should be some context coming in. Nonetheless, we're going to keep on going. So what will happen is, let me go ahead and create a contact in here. And I'm going to just create John Smith. And say here's John Smith at Johnny's Smith shop. Okay, and then I'm gonna select, put him and give him a number of 7256234, and I'm gonna make him a lead and choose a time zone in Central. And gonna hit save. So now I just had to have a contact. Do I have filters set turned on? I was gonna say. So let's go back. So now I have John Smith contact. I can go here. I can go send SMS, and then I hit proceed, and then I can create send a sample text message. And then from that sample text message, you can send them all at once. You can schedule them to send at a scheduled time, and then you can send them in drip mode. Generally, I like to send at a scheduled time, so that way I can plan it for sometime in the future. I have to select an action, so I'm going to select sample SMS campaign. And then let's just going to say we're going to send it at 10:46 a.m. and we're going to hit OK. So that's basically an hour from now. And then from there you go send to SMS, right? So then you would send it to SMS, and I'm not going to do that because I know that number is false, but then you would send the SMS. Also, if you send it to a drip mode, basically you can set, like, say you have a database or a contact list over 1,000 people. Oh, in the beginning, you can't send out as much. You can probably only send out maybe like 100 to 200 SMSs per day, right? SMS messages per day. So you would set that to 150. You want them to repeat after 1 days, and then you want them to send on every weekday, but you don't want them to send on Saturday and Sunday. And then you can say start from a particular time, like say you could say have them start from 10:30 a.m. and end at 4 o'clock p.m. like we discussed earlier. Or maybe we'll say this from 8. So between the windows of 8 and 4, you want to send out these text messages in drip mode. So you can send it out in drip mode, right? So you could say, I want to know in your batch of 150, send them out between 8 and 4 p.m. Then you hit send SMS, and then it will send that way. So that's basically how you do that. Thank you guys for bearing with me. This has been a rough last couple of weeks of me going live, but this is completely something new, and I'm trying some new stuff. And so, yeah, this is how you would go about sending all that out. So appreciate you guys dropping in for office hours. Come back next week. We're going to dive into some more components of setting up your automated marketing system. We're going to dive into like automations, and we're going to look at some basic automations for responding to people when they say that they respond to you via email, or setting up automations for sending out SMS messages and things like that on repeat for setting up long-term nurture campaigns. That's what we'll do. We'll go into long-term nurture campaigns and show you how you can set that up. Leveraging. We'll start with email, and then the week following, we'll go into SMS nurture campaigns. I'll show you how to set that up. That's also going to include how to set up your marketing templates, which we probably already covered before. But we'll go into that, and we'll show you a different way to include templates. There's another piece of the software where you can go into template snippets, right? So you can go into setting up template snippets that are going to be here, and they're just going to be small templates of small snippets of information that you can use to insert into your workflow automations. So, all right. We'll get back to it. Thank you guys for joining. This has been Xavier, the office hours with the traffic link. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, or you can email me, Xavier@thetraffic.link. Talk to you soon.